Hello again. Welcome to a training video of the print manager features in the reports screen for PayPak Professional 4.0 and other GreyNote software products. The print manager is found in several screens. Wherever you need to print something, and even if you need to email in some cases a document, you will first see, or you will see, the print manager window. So let's log in and show you how it works. We are looking today at the report screen. I'm going to choose standard reports, and let's pick something. Now I've filtered my list of reports. I've hidden some reports, so I'm going to turn on my show all, and I want to look at, let's say, the payroll summary. Letter size, I want the payroll summary letter size by category, this guy here. Now I'm going to preview this report. This is the print manager screen which I refer to. I just want to preview the report and see how many pages it is. Okay. I want to do a bit more than that. I want to print more pages, so let's come here, and in my filter, let's say that the date is in the year, and let's choose 2020. Or actually we could say it's between, and I want to print everything. Okay. Save, apply, and preview. For the purpose of what we're doing today, I want to print something with 2 pages. That's 2 pages long. Okay, good. We've got 2 pages. That's good enough for what we're doing. So we've got a report, got some information on there, and normally you can click here to print it in the preview. You can also print it directly. Now let's double click again to bring up the print manager window. Here it is. It's also found in other sections of the program, whenever, as I said before, wherever you need to print something, wherever you're doing any type of printing. At the top of the screen, there's the name of the report. In this case, it's payroll summary letter size by category. Under that, you have a list of printers. These are printers connected to my computer here at the office, and there's a printer selected already which says fax in this case. I want to send this printer. I can select my default printer. I can choose any printer from this list. Normally it goes to the default printer. So if my default printer is the HP 9020, let's just go back and see if that was the case just now. Okay, that's right, HP 9020, that's my default printer. But if I want to print it to something else, I wanted to send the report to another printer, it's just a simple matter of highlighting the printer in the list and clicking on it. Right, click on it, and then you can print directly or you can preview. So print will print the report. Preview will give it a while because it's processing 2 years data. The preview will give you this screen, which we're going to come back to in a moment. You can also print from here. There's some save options, etc. There's more than one page, but there are lots of options in here. So I want to come back to this. The other buttons which you have are the email, which will launch the email manager, and that has its own video. That looks like this. Now this is the email manager for the reports screen. This is separate from the email manager found in other parts of PayPak Professional and in other programs. The other email manager is used if you are, for example, emailing payslips. Now when you're emailing payslips, if you're emailing invoices, if you're emailing statements, those are documents which each one has the email address of the recipient. It's tied to the email address. In the case of the payslips, is the email address of the employees. So each document has a pre-assigned person to whom it's being emailed. So that email manager works differently from this email manager in the reports screen. This email manager does not have a preset recipient. So the same way that you can generate a report and send it to a printer, or save it as a PDF file and email it to someone, attach it to an email, you can come here and email the report directly. Okay? As I said, this will have its own video, and you can look out for that particular video, this particular video, and the one for the regular email manager. But this is just to explain the difference between the two. This one is launched from the print manager. So I'll close this. Let's go back to the regular print manager. That was the email button. There's an assign button, and what that does is that assigns this report to a particular printer. So if I always want to print this report on my 8610, I can click the assign, highlight the report, click the assign button, and from this point onwards, whenever I load that report again, it defaults to the 8610. There's a remove button which removes the printer assignments, in which case it will default back to the HP 9020. So let's just hit remove the settings, close the screen, I open it again, and voila, it's gone back to my default printer, the HP 9020. The refresh button will refresh the list of printers. If you're on a network and a printer was disconnected, if you've got a new printer, if you've got printers removed, whatever, this refresh button will refresh the choices on the screen. And there's a cancel button which cancels the operation, takes you back to the screen which launched the print manager. Now let's get into the details, the fine details of the printing. Now the button you want to look at is the preview. That's a very powerful set of features in here, because from the preview you can print, you can look at the report to see what it looks like before you print it. I chose 2 pages. One of the reasons I chose a report with more than 1 page is because the preview allows you to print 1 or more pages. So if I wanted to print page 2, when I click on the print button here, it brings up a little dialog, and I can say all pages, or pages, I can say page 2. That'll print just page 2. If this was 10 pages long, I could say 5 to 6, for example. Or if it was 10 pages long, I wanted to print 4, 7, and 9, I can put the pages in there with commas separating them. There's options. There's to go to the print settings, and there's copies and collation options in here, and there's a more options button down here. You can print all pages, odd pages, even pages. You can reverse the order. There's a duplex option if your printer supports that. There's the source, which tray you want to print on. There's various print modes, and any sort of option that you need as well. You can, as I said, you can also go to the settings button here, and that will bring up your print dialog screen where you can go in there and set your defaults or whatever you need to do. So I'm going to say less options in this case, and that's the print button options. I'll cancel that one. After the print, you've got a save button, which is a drop-down type of button, and there are a number of options in here. I'll just look at the most commonly used ones, the most ones that users find most useful. Adobe Acrobat, PDF document. So I say I want a PDF document. It will export it. I can tell it to open after export. I can choose the number of pages. There are a number of options in here. For the most part, just click on open after export and tell it OK. The default options work quite well. I'm going to save this to a particular folder. I have on my C drive a demo files folder, and we'll just call this payroll summaries. I'll create a new folder and call it payroll summary. Payroll summary reports. Okay, and this is January to May, so I'll just call it payroll summary. Let's say a demo in this case is good enough for our purposes. And we click the save, and because I turned on the option for it to open the PDF, it opens the PDF file immediately. I can then do whatever I need to do with this PDF file. I'm going to close this, and that will return me to the preview page. Under Save, I've also got options for Microsoft Office, rich text file, Excel, this Excel 2007 and Excel 97. You've got Word 2007, PowerPoint 2007, OpenOffice Calc, and OpenOffice Writer. So you can save your documents in any of these formats as well, and this is a very useful feature. You've got XML, web, image, database. Note the CSV file format there. You can also do DBF and save it as a JSON file as well if you need to. You can also print to old technology printers, old certain dot matrix line printers. You can print to them as well. There's options for ZPL file, PPML, PostScript file, and then some others. There's an option for the cloud. You can save the file to a cloud account, FTP, Box, Dropbox, Fast Report, Cloud, Google Drive, and OneDrive. And there's even a Messenger option which currently has XMPP. So you've got a very potent arsenal here of tools for saving and exporting your report. Next we have a find text. This pair of binoculars. If I click on these and I type low, L-O-W-E, and I say find next, it finds an low over here. If I say find next, no more occurrences found. If it can also look for numbers as well as names. You can look for numbers and dates depending on how the format goes. So if I type say 345, I say find next, it doesn't find that. Let me close this. It does tend to jump off the I go back to page 1, do my search, 345. Right, there you've got 1345. So if you're looking on a report for a particular number, you can put in a fragment of the number or the whole number itself, and it will find that exact number for you. For example, I am seeing, let's close this, I am seeing in this report here, I'm seeing a number 1,343. So if I type 1,343 and I say find next, there it is, and the 22 cents. It can even find the 22 cents. If I close this, binoculars again, and I put 0.22, it will find any occurrence of 22 cents. Let's go back to the first page. Find next, there's one here, 8,101.22, and there's the other one, 1,343.22. So it can look for names, it can look for descriptions, it can look for figures, it could even find dates. If you have reports of dates, you want to find a particular date or invoice number or reference, whatever you want. You can have a report that could be hundreds of pages long, and this will find that information for you on that page, because you may only want to print that particular page. So use the find the page with the information you want, and then you can say print for me page 2 of that report. We've had cases like, for example, if you're printing pay slips and the printer jams, you have hundreds of pay slips to print, and the printer jams, or it's one of the old dot matrix ones with the wheels, the sprockets, and the paper comes off the sprockets, and you tear it off, line it back up again. You wish to continue. You don't have to start from the beginning. Just restart from the particular page where the job went off the rails. So I'll close this. After that, you've got the page setup screen. And if you click on this, you can set the paper size. You can change your paper size. You can change the orientation. So if I want this to be letter portrait, it's going to make some changes for me. Right, and there you go. I can change my orientation. I'll just put it back to landscape. I can set the margins, the left margin, the top margin, and the right margin. Say I wanted that left margin instead of 0.1 to be 1 inch. Tell it OK. It's regenerating the page, and there's my report. Now it's actually pushed some of the information off the page, so a 1 inch margin in this case may not be the best option. So let's just put it back to 0.197 and tell it OK. We have some users who most of our reports are designed for letter size paper, 8.5 by 11, but there are some customers who may have a legal a printer that supports printing legal size sheets, and in that case you may want to take, if this report could fit on a legal size sheet, let's try that and see. I don't know if it will. Let's put it from letter to legal and say OK. Right, there you go. Didn't fit all of it, but you get the idea. So you could have easily converted this to print if your printer supports it on a legal size sheet. Also too, if the report is a legal size, legal landscape report, you might be able to resize it. That can actually be done if you export it to, and this is a free tip, if you export it to as a PDF document, then there are resizing options within Adobe Acrobat, which are even more powerful than, some of them are more powerful than what our printing tool allows. After the page setup, let's just switch that back to letter. Tell it OK. Good. So we have our two letter-size sheets. The next button is the watermark button. This is one of my favorites. I actually love this quite a lot. Click there, and you can set a watermark on your report, a customized watermark. So I click Enabled. There's a text watermark and there's a picture watermark. The text watermark, there's some preset defaults. Confidential is always a popular one. And when I tell it OK, there's an option here to apply to all pages. By default, it just applies to the current page. Normally I'm on the first page. In this case, I have 2 pages. So let's go back to the watermark setting. Apply to all pages. I tell it OK. And oops, I cleared it out. Sorry. Okay, enabled. Right, I have to turn on the enabled. I can make it confidential. I can make it copy original, etc. Urgent. Let's go with confidential. Tend to like that one. You can set the color. You can set the font. You can actually change the word in here. So if we want this to be confidential XXX, say OK. And if I want it on all the pages, that was my original intention, I forgot to check it here. I say OK, and it's regenerating. There you go, and it's on both pages. Now, I can also add graphics to this. So come back here, go to picture, and I have got a little favorite koala bear. Where's my little koala bear? Where's my little furry friend here? Right, koala. Koala or penguins? Well, koala gets it. Tell it OK. And there's a picture of my koala bear, and I can change the transparency by dragging this slider across. There, that's about good enough for me. And the koala bear, his watermark is on the first page. I could go back to the settings. Notice the confidential is on both pages. And I can say apply to all pages. I tell it OK, and you'll now get the koala bear on both pages. Just wait for it. Good. Now, there are some other options. These are very big little fellow because he's taking up quite a lot of my screen. It depends on the image that you've set, the size of the image that you've selected. For the picture options, there's a zoom. You have normal, center, stretch, zoom, and tile. Let's go for center. That's normal. That's center. That's stretch. That's zoom. I think I like the zoom. Well, that's the current one actually. And there's a tile. Let's clear this little fellow out and load the penguins. What else we got here? Yeah, the penguins. I like my penguins. And they're tiled right now. I'll just zoom them and say apply to all pages. Tell it OK. And there's my watermark. Quite lovely, actually. Now, this could be your company logo. It could be some special document which you're preparing. It's not every day you may want to use it, but the feature's there, and I find it quite nice. It's a little perk. A very nice touch to the software. Even the text part alone of the watermark is quite useful. After the watermark option, you've got the navigational buttons which can be used to move from one page to another. The current page you're on will have, in my case, it's an orange border around it. I'm not sure if that will change depending on your Windows color scheme, but that's how you know which page you're on. So as you navigate, you can tell which one you're currently on. I'm looking at 2 pages at a time, two pages side by side, So the one on the right is my current page. So if I click print to print the current page, this one here with the totals is the one that gets printed. And I can close from here, and that is the close of this particular section of the print preview screen. Good. So that about wraps it up for the print manager. We can see the name of the report that's been selected. We can assign a printer, either just one-off for this particular instance, or we can assign it permanently. We can print the report directly. We can preview it. We can email it. Look out for the video on that, because that explains some concepts relating to setting up the email and security and so on. As I said, you can assign a printer, you can remove assigned printers, refresh the display, and cancel the window. So once again, thank you very much for spending some time and watching the video. It's been a pleasure to present these videos to you, and we look out for the next set. Thank you.